Hello everybody, we are back with another flip through. Today I have the Antique Anatomy Tarot Deck and Guidebook for the Modern Reader by Claire Goodchild. I've taken the plastic off, I have not opened it though. Oddities and curiosities await you in the Antique Anatomy Tarot, oh boy. Enliven your readings with this exquisite deck of tarot cards, which feature vintage anatomical illustrations and delicate botanical drawings. The accompanying guidebook offers insight for every card and explores the many ways you can use the deck for self-discovery and personal growth. A wildly creative interpretation of the practice, the Antique Anatomy Tarot is an indispensable tool for the contemporary reader. 80-page guidebook with full-color photography, 78 illustrated tarot cards. Claire Goodchild is an award-winning artist who specializes in tarot and astrology and the founder of her company, Black and the Moon. Experience more magic at theblackandthemoon.com. Designed by Diane Shaw, printed in China. Retails $20.99, Canada $37.99. Abrams Notary, an imprint of Abrams is the publisher. We have some cute skull designs on the sides. I'm assuming this is some of the card art we're going to be seeing. And then the Antique Anatomy. This would sit really cute on a bookshelf. So if you have a lot of ones, or even if you're like wanting one that's a little more discreet with like your witchy books and stuff, this would be really cute with that. So, alright, so we have a flap opening cover. It has all three sides though, are hard. It's all in your hands. Oh, this doesn't have a ribbon. Okay. The tarot guidebook. Ooh, some spreads. What do we have? Ways of using the tarot. Okay, so it starts with the basics, finding out all the stuff, and then it goes into the cards. Okay. Temperance and the Devil. So we have half cards with cards on the side. A little, very Instagram post style. And then the Minor Arcana has, it looks like we have all sorts of fun stuff. So we're already having some suits be swapped. So Elixirs is going to be our cups. But we have some really cool of like what the suit covers, some fun astrological like signs. So your Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that'll be covered within the water in the sense. Element, and then season, summer, initiated by the first day of Cancer. That's really cool. I like that. And then it's got a little section about more description, it looks like, with keywords. Always love a good keyword. Yeah, a suit of rods for our wands. Blades are swords. Okay. Yeah, she's got some numerology in here. This seems like a really good, like, just if you've never picked up anything that's talks about numerology, the astrology, this like really covers a lot of little things about tarot that you may not know about first. So this is a really solid guidebook, it's looking like. Granted, I haven't gotten into it. Oh my gosh, it's got like color association. It goes into more about the elements. Yeah, this is super cool. She's got some meditation stuff in here. Spell work, caring for your deck, preparing an altar. So we have 1 card, 3 card spreads, moon cycle spread. That one that you saw earlier, the whole moon cycle was, seems to be the like one of the unique ones. A Celtic cross is in here. So lots of good classics. For how thin that little guidebook is, that's pretty impressive. I'm actually like super impressed. I'm excited to like dive into that one. All right, so here is the deck in the back of it. It's got a nice little nestled spot in the box. It's a cute box. So we have the like slot to like to pick up the cards, which is nice, but we have no way of like grabbing the guidebook, which is a little frustrating. So that's just my 2 cents. Is that something to help pick up the guidebook so I'm not destroying it. The bottom of the box is floral around it. The inlay. The back of the cards have a slightly worn look to them. I'm sure it will actually look really nice as it does wear out, that your brain will be somewhat tricked into being like, oh, that's just the card, which is, in my opinion, really, really nice. So I am actually very excited that that's part of this. All right, so let's start going through it. I think this one's a deck that I'm going to take a little bit longer to fully get to know. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so we can look at these cards. All right, so we're starting off with the Fool card. This is gonna be a little bit of me trying to figure out where are we going with this. But because there's color theory and stuff in there, I think we're gonna see a lot of really solid color, like really good solid understandings if you're actually willing to do it. So like color, it deals with like anger, the red flowers in there. Anger, passion, love, sex, danger, orange, creativity, expression, fun, success, and the blue ones would be calm, sadness, grief, boredom, peace, which I think is like a really good way to like look at the Fool card, because I always kind of think of it's the start of a new adventure and you're kind of stuck at the beginning and you're just starting off with everything and figuring out where, like what you're gonna do, and you're not usually sure what you're gonna do. So stuff like that. I think this is gonna be a deck that has a lot of little pieces to it that is gonna build up over time. So I'm not gonna sit and go through every single card telling colors, but I just wanted you guys to have an idea of like what the guidebook provides along with to the card. The cardstock itself isn't particularly impressive. It's okay. It's definitely easy to riffle shuffle. I like the size of it. I think this is the standard 3x5. Not quite there. A little smaller. We have the Magician. We still have the Ellipses. Or the Lemniscate. The Ellipses, that's not what that is. The Lemniscate. The High Priestess. The Empress. The Emperor. Oh, we're going to see some duos in here. This is cool. Empress has like a bone that's being pulled out, and then the Emperor has the muscle being shown, which I think is, you know, are you at the core of it, or are you the thing that helps it stay up? The Hierophant, I need to really like look into the symboling, because I know it means something. It's on like all the tarot cards. Alright, so the Lovers has a heart. We'll put it to the side to see if the Devil has anything. The Chariot. So we still have a duel, which is really nice. And we have the red versus black. Strength. I believe this is a femur. I don't know. That's somebody is going to have a field day with this, being like, this is what this is. This is what that is. The Hermit. I wonder if this is supposed to be, I can't quite tell. I think this is supposed to be like an enlarged skull of like, look at all the extra knowledge I have incited upon. The Wheel of Fortune. So we have all 4 elements. Classic symbols. Justice, another heart with the brain. Ooh, a really interesting justice. I'm just realizing about like mind and emotion and what are you balancing. Oh, this is gonna bring some really new ways of looking at readings, since I'm so used to having like a balancing of what are your decisions, your options, but really what is the balance of your emotions versus mind kind of thing. Is going to be really solid. The Hanged Man. Oh, so we have, usually he is upside down, today he is upright. Alright, so Death. Temperance. I love the use of mind and heart in this deck. Yeah, this is surprise. I don't know why. I mainly grabbed this. Okay, so just so I can quick say this. The Devil has a skull and not, so it doesn't tie to the Lovers. So that's okay. That is honestly okay. I think I bought this deck mainly because I love the aesthetic. I like skulls, roses, that whole floral with skull things. It's like, yeah, I'm super down for that. I don't think that's a problem. And I enjoy it quite a bit. And so for me, I was like buying it mainly for the aesthetic. I had no idea how good this would be, and this is honestly kind of blowing me away. I think we're going to end up in a bit more pippy arcana or minor arcana, but I think I'm really liking this so far. The moon versus sun. Oh, yeah. Looking inward, looking outward. And then we have different colored flowers, different types of flowers. Oh, yeah. Judgment has words that I can definitely not say just because I have no idea. And I will have to run that one through Google Translate. Throw it in Google, see what it says. The world. Ooh, our core. Yeah, with all its like various organs. It's not all the organs. It's a bunch of organs though. And various skulls of the animals. Awesome. All right. So I am going to now get us set up where we can look at all 4 of the minor arcana at the same time. And then we will be right back. All right. So I have our 4 suits set up here. I forgot to mention this in the major arcana, but they do number the cards by figures. So what you're looking at is the figure. So we will be able to know what number we're on that way. And so this will say what suit. In the major arcana, it would say item, and then it would give the suit name, or the card name, and then the figure, which is the card number. So all really good important details in my opinion. I think that's incredibly helpful, especially for those who are new. And I really love this deck. That this, if you are like, man, I've thought about buying tarot. I just watch a lot of tarot review. I like to watch tarot readings. I've never dabbled in it myself. I'm super impressed with the guidebook so far, and I've really like these cards. That if this is something where you are already starting to put things together, I would highly recommend looking into this deck and possibly grabbing it for yourself, because I think this has been proving to have a lot of very good signifying cues and stuff that you could easily pull into other tarot decks and readings and such. So yeah, I'm loving this so far. All right, so we are looking at the aces. So we have a singular item, lots of flowers. Again, the book has a whole color theory thing. I'm sure you can even look into floral meanings and stuff and just pull some things. I like that we're seeing some flowers being repeated. We have these like white daisies. Somebody in the comments is going to be like, that is this type of flower. And I'm going to be like, all right, I have no idea. But we are seeing that in like both of those. And I like that we're getting to see a couple different ones crossing, because so much of the elements also like end up commingling. There's not just like one. While the elixirs will be dealing mostly with our emotions and stuff, that doesn't mean the wands will never like mention them. So yeah, I'm very excited. They're really pretty cards. We have the love potion on the first one. So yeah, that's her rods. Our rods are all gonna, it looks like there's gonna be various different ones. So I think you could even pull through and go, okay, this is what these items look like. These peonies are so pretty. The art on these cards is so gorgeous. I really do like them. Yeah, the floral, yeah, it's such a, and to choose the flowers to be the colorful thing is fascinating, and it's like a choice. So it's super cool to have that. So this has a love tonic, and then Fitzpatrick Pharmaceuticals passion tincture, clover tincture. Okay, so yeah, it's the 2 of cups. They look very similar. They're very like the buddies. These do give more pip vibes, which usually I'm not into pips. Again, I picked this up because I was like, I like the aesthetic enough that I'm okay with like a pip deck. That was part of my reasoning. But honestly, after looking through the guidebook, it seems like there was a lot more intention brought into this. I'm gonna have to look into like the yellow versus purple. Like, what are we balancing and harmonizing between? What are we trying to make sure has good balance to it? Yeah, the Two of Swords. When you're stuck between what seems like two similar choices. Love Potion, Joy Tonic, Bliss Elixir. Cute. Yeah, there's so much fun. Like, two of these are the same, one is different. I think there's so much that you could really start. This isn't like a true pip deck, so it really has way more detail than I thought it would. So I'm very, very surprised and like pleased with this. This is turning out to be a very successful purchase for me. I'm excited to read with this and find out what kind of deck it likes to be. This is interesting. In case you're curious, there has been 2 black floral cards on the 2 and 3 of Swords. That doesn't bode something for the black floral, to those of you who do know what those cards usually mean. So here we have arsenic, morphine, heroin, and cyanide. But with the A and the C are both covered. I don't know if that was an artistic choice or if that was like on purpose. And for some of you who are like, oh, but she's like repeated the floral, that's all that's happening, and just changed the words. I'm okay with that. There's a lot of art that happens on these cards. You gotta sometimes take a pick every now and then. Pick your battles. I'm sure many of the flowers were just pulled from one art to the other. Yeah, there's so much here, I think. There's so much depth here that I'm excited. Right, let's see. So we're looking at different pieces of the jaw in the top tooth line. Yeah. And these cards are incredibly ivory for anybody who is curious. These are like a cream background. It's not my camera for once. It's actually like, they are ivory. They are a true creamy color. It's kind of to go with that worn out, faded look. Oh man, this is going to be a deck that I'm going to have to put the whole suit out at once, because I'm already looking at the next card. More black roses, or more black floral in the Swords, and we have this one moment of white on the number 4 of like just this time of like rest, this moment of like, okay, you have to be quiet, and then it's just back into it, and it's like, no! Ugh. Yeah, lots of blue and elixirs, this calming presence. Yeah. Oh, this is so well thought through. I'm very excited. Lots of warm tones in the rods, which makes sense for fire, but also like the passion that comes with those colors. The Pentacles has had quite a mix, but tends to be in the cooler tones, I think I've been seeing. Skulls, hands, feet. Yeah, what a cool way to... This is going to be a really fun deck that if you are somebody who's willing to like sit down and like really take time to play with your decks, to like study a suit at a time, to read the book thoroughly, I think this is going to be an amazing deck. I am kind of hit and miss on if I'm really good about looking at every single card, reading about every single card. What interpretations does this deck particularly like? Stuff like that. That can always be kind of hit and miss. Yeah, we're considering... Yeah, I'm very excited because this is very pip, but there's so much like thought. Like these florals, I think, have a lot of thought to them about like, why was this color chosen? Because all the bottles have no color. This has so little color that every color was picked out and like thought about. We have orange and yellow on this one. The rods are all very interesting. They seem to be somewhat various tools. So I'm curious about all the different types of rods that are in there and like how they're best used. look like the, yeah, they're pen blades. Let Go Potion, Soul Journey, The Void, Wake Up Potion, Despair, Aura Cleanse. Ooh. I really love these. Okay, yeah, so the Eight of Rods looks very similar. If you just look up RWS Wands, Eight of Wands, yeah, you're going to have a very similar image, but this has like extra colors with the floral, which I think is, again, very thought through. There's a lot of thought into this. We have the various, like now we have long heart, hips, and skull in this one. I'm curious because some of these are, there was no mention of reversal that I saw. I could be wrong. But these seem to be like reversible in the sense that like if you shuffle and it doesn't necessarily work out the first time, it doesn't matter. I don't think they're necessarily meant to have reversals to them. Again, we're seeing a lot more white flowers on 8. But which is fascinating because usually, but like they're like trapped amongst the blades. Yeah. The innocence is trapped. You feel stuck. Number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. And then we have Love Potion, Joy Elixir, Bliss Brew, Wish Tonic with pink florals. Ooh. Pink. Suit Rods. 9 of Pentacles. Looks like we have the same skull just from various angles. Back with the black floral. And the 9 of Blades. Here we are with the 10. Happiness, wisdom, dream, harmony, calming, passion, love. Yeah. Yeah. That's super nice that the elixirs have kind of almost keywords built into them, which is fun. So, yeah, this deck I think has a lot of really nice, helpful things. Like built into it, which is good. I can't quite tell what's going on here. I know my camera's not fully picking up all the detail of it. But it's not like a snake. It looks like it's almost like a mechanism that I can't quite figure out. Alright, so now we're going to look at the court. Court cards. So we're starting with the page. And we have Children's Skull. So, for anybody who has issues with this, I guess we're here now. So this might be triggering for some people. Which may be like the same for you then. Ooh, a fertility tonic. In the cups, or the elixir's night. This is interesting because they don't really tie to a cross, but they tie to the past card very, very well. So now we're on to the queens. The beauty potion. Yeah, these blades going through the skulls. We have all of the pentacles still stuck in their coins. This is a deck that, once you learn it, I think you could trim this deck down really, like just lose that bottom and trim this deck up quite nicely and it would look really cool. Alright, and then we have the kings. I'm curious of the skulls because we have such a variety of skulls of what the references were. Types of skulls pulled, like from different parts of the world and like various stuff like that. So, yeah. Alright, I am going to look up an review for this deck and we will be right back. Okay, so I was reading and the book was saying that amethysts with this deck is probably a good idea. So I grabbed some of the ones I had. I have a cute little coffin amethyst and then a regular amethyst. And my big one is with my chakra setup, so it is not in here. But they will come and join us for this. I am doing a deck interview. It's called The Interview Spread. I found it on Pinterest by, I think that says Star Raver at Aslet. Oh, I can't read the font that they're using at something forums. TarotLoveLuv.com is the Pinterest board person who made this. And I will put a link down below, so if you ever hear one of my tarot interviews that I do, I usually get it off Pinterest because I can grab the link and throw it down below for you guys to also do really nicely. So the first question will be, tell me about yourself. Second, what are your strengths as a deck? Third, what are your limits as a deck? 4, what are you here to teach me? 5, how can I best learn from you? 6, what is the potential outcome of working with you? And this one has a circular shape, which I might have to readjust my camera to do, but we'll pull the cards together, and then I will readjust if needed. So when I first do these, any first deck I get, I tend to pull just straight from the piles, just because I usually haven't shuffled to a point where it makes sense that the deck will like what I'm doing. So I let the cards be able to speak a bit more broadly, because I just don't have 40 minutes to shuffle the deck to a good, consistent, get all the cards where they want to be. So the first card is, tell me about yourself. It's this one or this one. It's this one. Okay. What are your strengths as a deck? What are your limits as a deck? And what are you here to teach me? How can I best learn from you? And what is the potential outcome of working with you? All right. All right, so I'm just going to set it up. I think I can kind of get 6 cards, so I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit here quick, and then we will be able to go from there. Okay. So this top card is number 6. If I was to set it up in the way they want it, it would be like that. It doesn't make a ton of sense for me to do that. So what we're gonna do is just make 2 rows. And we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hopefully haven't disturbed any of them from where they were.
Hey, it's Editing Sam here, and yes, I totally did screw up a bunch of the numbers. I think 4 and 5 got swapped, and 2 and 3 got swapped. I think 1 and 6 were actually in their right positions, surprisingly. But yes, I kind of just ended up going with this, though, and I believe it was a pretty decent reading still, so I think something had my back and kind of expected me to screw it up. So we're just going with it. Hopefully that's okay, and so here is the rest of the reading.
Oh, somebody is gonna keep track and tell me. All right, tell me about yourself. The Ace of Elixirs. What are your strengths as a deck? Justice. Oh yeah, that mind body card. We have the Queen of Cups for what are your limits as a deck. And what are you here to teach me is the King of Coins. How can I best learn from you? The Two of Swords, or Blades. Sorry. I keep saying the wrong suit. And then, what is the potential outcome of working with you is the Seven of Pentacles. So, if you've never seen me do a deck interview, I like using their guidebook because typically the deck has kind of attuned to whatever the intentions of the guidebook and what those keywords are. Interestingly, we have only just the Justice card and we have no rods. So, I'm interested to see how creative or lack of creativity possibly that this deck may be having. So it might not want to help us within our creative forthcomings or whatnot. So the Ace of Elixirs is the keeper of the raw emotional energy in the universe. Okay. So raw emotional energy, new love, art, poetry, imagination, and joy. So this is a happy deck. This deck wants to be part of exciting new possibilities. Sweet. Always a good thing. The strengths of the deck. What does justice within here say? Justice keywords are truth, honesty, balance, consequence, equality, and fairness. Yeah, which makes sense. I think the balance is very... It wants to be a good deck. A happy deck, but it's going to be fair, which I appreciate. The limits of this deck: nurturing, elegant, perception, visions, kindness, and intuition. Oh, so this is going to be a bit more factual, I think. I think that Justice card really kind of shows how it wants the cold, dry answers, but it's not going to be particularly... I don't want to say the word sweet, because it wants to be a very... Like, it wants to have wonderful emotional connection, but it's... Well, possibly what it is that it's not going to have a very nice emotional connection. It's just going to be a very... It's not nurturing. It's gonna tell you what's up. Alright, and then for what are you here to teach me, we have the King of Coins. Keywords are realistic, stern, reliable, leadership, hard worker, and upper management. Okay. Yeah. So I think what we're dealing with here is that it doesn't want to be like this wishy-washy, all of the emotions. It wants to be like, no, we're making moves. We're going to do things. I want to watch you grow. I want to watch you become better. I want you to have these brand new opportunities and take advantage of them. To be able to use them and make yourself better, which is fair. How can I best learn from you? Decision, uncertainty, balance, missing information, and deadlock. We have this kind of double balance of strength and how can I best learn from you. We have this learning of how to balance everything. And on one side, it's this emotional leadership. And then we'll see what the last Pentacle cards is, but it kind of seems that this like wish-washy. We'll see what the Seven of Coins says, but yeah, I think this is an interesting... This is a cool way of trying to like set itself up for us. So patient work. This is for what is the potential outcome of working with you? Patience, work, perseverance, building, and planning. Yeah, so we want to make a really hardcore relationship here. We want to make that steady relationship between us that is going to prosper in a really great way of learning balance, that hard work, the decision making within it. This I think is going to be a really solid what if this, what if that. I have these two options. What are the outcomes? What are the like what's potentially going to happen between the two? I think this is a deck that's going to have a lot to say about decisions, which is great. I like a good deck that's set up for decision making and like set up for what if this or that, and like you can kind of look at two outcomes pretty separately, which is nice. The Beauty Potion. So I was saying like these two are kind of balance cards, so I'm wondering if this is the scales of like this, the balance between this like emotional sternness versus this emotional my brain totally just forgot what I just read for the Seven of Pentacles. Perseverance. Okay. Patient building and this like emotional leadership. Yeah. There's a lot of learning how to, I feel like this is more mind versus heart and like figuring out all that stuff. This is gonna, I like these coin cards. They're very structured versus these like cup cards. There's also a balancing kind of here of like emotional everything versus your like material. What do you have here that you're in charge of and leading people on? And what are you like setting up and building and making and getting ready, and like how are you going to see the investment of those things? So yeah, this is a really cool setup. I'm very excited to get to know this deck further even. I think this deck is going to really push me as a reader. I think it's going to push this deck to be a better tool too. I think that's going to be very helpful, is having this deck end up being part of readings and everything. That'll also end up being part of like really good, I don't know what I'm trying to say. So this is going to end up being an awesome deck though for decision making, and it's going to be an awesome deck for I think some good general like emotional readings, and like I'm in job readings. I think that's the two things that I'm really excited to read about. Not like truly like I'm so depressed at readings, but like I'm having a tough time in my life, and I think there's gonna be like some good underlying emotional tones that'll be talked about in this deck, which I'm very excited about learning more and seeing more. So thank you so much for joining me to get to know the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Is this a tarot you are interested in? Are you planning on buying it? Do you own it? What kind of personality does your deck have? I am very interested to hear about what your interview spread went, and if you do the interview spread that I have linked down below, feel free to let me know what deck you're using and how that interview went. Don't forget to check in with your decks, see how they're doing. And thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys in the next video.